At this time, this is a public hearing on the status. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So at this time, this is a public hearing to discuss the removal of a Gary Public Library Board appointee pursuant to Indiana Code 36-12-2-20. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that at this time. Indiana Code 36-12-2-20. Removal of member vacancy. Section 20A, a library board member may be removed at any time by the appointing authority after public hearing for cause. 1, that interferes with proper discharge of the member's duties as a member of the board. Or 2, that jeopardizes public confidence in the member. So at this time, Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the appointee if he would like to respond.
Before we get to that point, I'm just going to take a little, I guess they call it a bully mic, because I'm the president and I've got the mic. And I want to just take a moment to comment, because this says board comments, and thank you, sir, for Mr. Johnson for reading that. But I want to take a moment, spend some time thinking about today. And first of all, I want to say that when one is selected to represent a body as a member of the board, to represent that body, it is a lot of faith put onto that individual, and I think that it takes some knowledge of knowing that you're not only representing yourselves because you're selected because you are a person of obvious capabilities, but you're there to represent and support the organization that you were appointed by. And so you should make sure that you communicate back and forth and keep them aware of what is going on. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Buggs for his years of service to the library. It is an honor to know that a gentleman, as I become even more senior every day, that is still committed to his community, supporting his community and doing those things that are necessary to show that it's more than just talk, that's there day in and day out to support the community. So Mr. Buggs, I personally thank you for your attendance and your support of the library board and the efforts that you make in our community. With more like you, we would be moving faster to where we want to be. So I just want to take that time to thank you for your service and representing the Gary School Board on the library board. We appreciate your efforts. Now, Mr. Johnson, please continue.
At this time, ask Mr. Buggs if he'd like to make any comments.
Good evening, board. I'm not supposed to be making comments. This is a hearing. And I am to defend myself. Oh. So I'm going to start off now. I only got 30 minutes. They gave me 30 minutes to present my side of the case. But I got to let, since it's a public hearing, then the public needs to know what's going on. I got a call from Secretary Glenn Johnson day before yesterday, stating that a meeting had been scheduled to remove me from the board. I asked him why. He said, "Did you get my email?" I said, "No, I haven't checked the email." I said, "Well, what happened? Was it the board member or library staff?" He said, "Library staff." I said, "Who was it?" He said, "It was several of them." So then I called the director of the library, Ms. Morrow, and she didn't know anything about it. So now I'm here today. When we start over? No. I only got 30 minutes. When is my 30 minutes start, by the way? Cause I got witnesses and I got stuff I gotta present. Well, this is a hearing. It's not, I'm not making comments.
Please continue, sir.
Beg pardon?
Please continue.
Okay. So then, I asked him to send me a copy of the written complaint. Now let me let the public know what's happening. The process is, if your appointee does an allegation of something against him, the process is that you call in that appointee, let him know, make him aware of the allegations by showing it to him. And number one, before I forget it, it has to be a written complaint, signed and dated. I have not seen a written complaint, nor have I been told why I'm being removed. My term ends next July in 2026. So after that, I said, well, you know I do have due process rights. You know, the Sixth Amendment, I have a right to face my accusers and to question them. And I still wanted to know what did I violate so that I can prepare? I still have not been told yet. Now I gave the board, I sent an email response to him. So he sent me an email saying that was the wrong email. Use this one. Now in the email packet, verbatim, I used that email. And also have in that packet where it said error, no address found. Now I don't know whether that was intentional to say I didn't get your response or your request, because I did a limited discovery request. Also, he is telling me that I have a right to present my case. I have a right to question whoever complained about me. He does not have the authority, the board does not have the authority to tell me how I should use my witnesses in my behalf and what they should do. He said they must sign in, but now you taking your authority to tell my witnesses what they have to do. That's denying due process. So in order for there to be a hearing in the first place, you have to have a complainant. And I have a right to question that complainant. I have a right to see that written complaint as to what I did. Now he mentioned in that code 36-12-2-28, but there's a colon there, but he said you can remove a trustee at any time. Colon means there's something to follow. Now, he has never stated yet what I violated. So why am I being removed? He never stated yet or provided me a written complaint. You can't just willy-nilly say, I'm gonna pull you off the board. This has a process. Unless you violate one of these, and they have to prove it, then this meeting is not a board. Also, this is a hearing. This is not a school board meeting. I didn't see anywhere where it was posted, notifying the public of a special hearing. It might be. Now I came in, I saw the agenda, but then they have on the school board agenda of my removal. So it's like it's already a done deal. But I am going to contest that. I have witnesses to speak on my behalf but the first thing, Mr. Suggs, I am requesting officially a copy of the written complaint against me as to what I did, because I can't defend myself if I don't know what the allegations are. So I was told by Mr. Johnson I would get it when I got here. So I need that so I can defend. I don't know what was said to me or all about me or what I did. And I do have 30 minutes, so do you have a written complaint? Because you can't, I was on the school board for about almost 8 years. And I was reelected in 2020 by 14,252 Gary citizens. So I couldn't have jeopardized any confidence. It appears to me that they had a lot of confidence in me because I got more votes than the mayor and the city council at that time. So I need to know, since this is a hearing, need to see the written complaint. Because you can't go to the school board, can't just willy-nilly, you have to have a written complaint, number one. There has to be something that has been done, and it has to be proven that you violated it. So I'm asking the board, what did I violate? Who is the complainant? I need that. This is a hearing. To
Mr.
remove
Bugs.
me from the library board, why am I being removed?
Sir, this is your opportunity to speak. If you would like to take advantage of it, I encourage that.
No,
Otherwise, we'll move on.
Mr. Suggs, this is a hearing. I have been accused of doing something, and I have a right to face my accuser by written complaint. I didn't come here just to make a comment. This is a hearing, and matter of fact, it says here that I have a right for discovery. I requested discovery several times to find out what, that's the law, by the way, to find out exactly what did I do so I could prepare to defend myself. The Sixth Amendment of the Constitution says that I have a right to face my accusers and to question them as to their allegations against me. You're removing me, or do you have a hearing to remove me? The only reason that you can remove somebody according to the statute. The process is on there, but you must, one of these must have been violated. So what did I do? Did I have witnesses also? At what time do they come up? They supposed to, this is not a come up to comment. This is a hearing. A hearing is just like a mini trial. So if I've been accused of something, I'm being removed. For what cause? You have to provide it to me. What cause is it? I need to know. I have witnesses, but what are they going to say about, what am I here for? But I do want my witnesses to speak, by the way. I gave you the list. But right now, you say I can make comments, and I object to that. My due process rights are being blatantly denied by this board. I'm being accused of something, but you won't tell me what it is. And you remove me, you're punishing me for no cause, because you won't tell me why you're doing it. And you have no proof, you have no written complainant. Just like if you don't have a complainant for a crime, you don't just go on yourself. Now either this is a personal retaliation, because I came before this board and said that the fact that you all voted to not hear any expulsion cases from the school, that it was.
But hold on, you're getting off topic now, Mr. Bugs.
No, I'm talking about due process.
No.
I'm not getting off topic, because this is my hearing, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
this is
you are.
about due process.
Yeah, but it's about the library board. It has nothing to do with.
The due process has anything to do with this hearing? What is the written complaint? Give me the written complaint. Tell me why you removed me why you have a hearing to remove me. You sent me the letter, you called me, and then you told me when I sent you some limited discovery so I could prepare to defend myself. You said that was the wrong email, but that was the email that you notified me by.
No.
Then when I sent you, let me finish.
No.
Let me finish. When you sent me the other
Mr.
email,
Bugs.
I sent it to that email, and that email didn't go
Mr.
through.
Bugs. Well, Mr. Bugs is in.
I mean, it's in the package. You all, as the board members, you all can see it yourself.
The
What you
email
said,
that you sent it to was actually a work email.
No, you said
And I replied back and asked you not to use that email.
right. You said send it to the other email,
Exactly.
and I sent it to that email, and that email came back. Look on
But
the second.
you sent me multiple emails.
Look on
to that
look
other-
on now look
to
on
the
the
school
second page.
district email before.
An email that you gave me to send it to. Look on the second page, and it says that error that it couldn't be sent. Look at the second page. I'm asking the board to look at it, so I give you the package.
But you didn't give me one, so I don't.
Well, I'm trying to present my case, not your case, my case. Because
Yeah,
you
but
you
asking me to
you
look
have
at something
humiliated
that you
me,
didn't give.
called me out here on some kangaroo court, accusing me of something, and won't tell me what it is you're accusing me of, and to remove me. Look at the email you told me, because I have your email attached.
You didn't give me a copy.
Well, you sent it to me, you should have a copy. But I will give you a copy.
Well, and actually, like
I will give you a
deleted
copy.
that because you sent that
I'll
to
give you a
me.
copy. No problem. If you look on the second page, and ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. I sent the email, this is the email telling me where to send it to. I sent it to that email exactly, and this is what I got. You know, as bad as this country is, we still have laws. And I'm still a citizen, and the Constitution
Mr.
provides
Bugs,
us certain rights. Yes, sir.
would you give me a 5-minute break if you'd like to take a moment?
Yes, it's,
Thank you, sir.
Won't take away from my time, will it?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think he would let me.
You know that Attorney Irving is on, and so is Dr. Woods, because the sound wasn't connected, but as a matter of record, they're on now.
Thank you. At this point, go through the agenda. I'm going to go through it, and then I'll ask Mr. Johnson, our Vice President, to take over. One, again, board recommendation and comments. 1.2, there will be a response and comments, an opportunity for public input and comments, and then we will close this hearing. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to stick to that agenda. At this point, Vice President Johnson, will you make the board recommendation?
What about, Mr. Suggs, what about me presenting my case? Because
That opportunity will go just as that when it says response and comments, I didn't put your name down, but that's you.
No, I don't mean comments, I'm supposed to, provide witnesses.
That's not how we conducted. That's not how we're conducting today, sir.
This is a hearing, right?
This is the school board meeting.
No, this is a hearing. This is a hearing.
There's no need for comments because it's one time. If we want this meeting to be open, then we're going to follow it in order.
No, this is a public hearing, sir. A public hearing.
Okay, so let's have that. Let's have that. Let's have the board speak. There's an agenda. Let's follow it.
So at this time, the board recommendation is to remove Mr. Bugs from the library board pursuant to
Why?
Indiana Code 36-12-2-2-20.
What did I violate?
Sections 1 and 2. That interferes with the proper discharge of the member's duties as a member of the board, or that jeopardizes public confidence in the member.
Can you expound?
Mr. Suggs, respectfully, Mr. Johnson, told me
Mr.
that he had a complaint from the library.
Mr. Bugs, you're making an example right now. We're trying to conduct a meeting and you're over talking and not talking at the appropriate moment. This is the type of behavior that we're speaking of.
Do I have to go back up there or what?
Yeah.
When I give you the floor, sir.
Why is the board?
I'd like to open up the mic right now for any board members' comments.
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just based on previous actions that Mr. Bugs has shown at previous library board meetings, it was our decision to replace Mr. Bugs.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Bugs, would you like to have a response or comments?
Go ahead. Again, Mr. Chair, this is a hearing. Mr. Johnson told me that he had some complaints from library staff against me. That's why I'm here. I want to know what those complaints are because he specifically, I asked him, was it from a board member or library staff? He said library staff. I said, who? He said several of them. So that's what he said. Now, I want to see their written complaints because you can't call a hearing without having a written complaint.
Sir, unfortunately, you're
also-
not correct.
Also, I do have somebody here, just for the public to know, from the library to speak, that there was no complaints about me. And that she should be allowed, because this is not witness. Are y'all not allowing me to have witnesses at my hearings?
Please, bring your witness up. You ready?
You have the list, I gave you the list. I gave you the witness list.
Did they sign in?
Are they required to sign in my witnesses in a hearing?
Yes, sir. I believe you were
The public-
instructed to have
The
them
public
sign
is
in.
required, if they want to speak for or against me, but these are my witnesses, this is a part of my defense. So now you're telling me that you dictate how my witnesses are to be?
Well, it's a public hearing, Mr. Bugs. It's not a court of law.
Well, you said it was a court of law.
May I make a point of clarification, please? So a public hearing is not a trial. A public hearing is a formal, open meeting convened by a government agency or legislative body to allow the public to express their views, opinions, and concerns on a specific issue or proposed action. This is under the code. This is the definition of a public hearing. A public hearing is not a trial where you present witnesses, but the way that the agenda has been set up, you have an opportunity to respond. So if that is having other individuals come support your responses, that is fine, but it's not a trial where you're presenting witnesses and you're questioning anyone. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Tolbert. Could you tell me, Attorney Tolbert, what is it that I'm supposed to have violated in this code that he's citing?
Yeah.
Because he never told me that I violated anything. So, what did I do? What did I violate? It's two.
Okay,
two
so
provisions in there.
my position is not to tell you why the board makes its recommendations.
No, that's about
But what I
verification.
will tell you is that what has been read from the code appears to indicate that there has been some conduct on your behalf that does not comply with what you should be doing as an appointee. And so that language in the code that was read to you, the code
So
language that, the
I'm
code
being-
language, well, do you want me to finish, Mr. Bugs? You want me to finish?
Yeah,
Okay, so the code language that says that a board member, a library board member may be removed at any time by the appointing authority, the school board, after a public hearing, that's what we're in now, for any cause. And then it says, number one, that interferes with the proper discharge of the member's duties as a member of the board, or that jeopardizes public confidence in the member. Vice President Johnson has indicated, from what I've heard, there has been some conduct on your behalf that does not comply with this statute. Now, what that is, I don't think that this has to be a hearing where there's a written complaint, because this is not that type of hearing. It does not have to be anything in writing. It is this board's discretion under this code section to remove any appointee on the library board that they have appointed based on these provisions.
I
So
have,
that's the most that I can tell you, Mr.
but I have a right to know what those some conduct is. Wouldn't you say? Mr. Johnson, since you said, what are those conducts that I did? And which one of these, violations, did I interfere with the public confidence? What was that some, the word was some conduct, would you identify that conduct? Because you got me at a disadvantage. You're accusing me of something, but you won't tell me what it is. But you're removing me, and you're not saying, well, you violated this code. Well, if you just say I violated that code, you have to have some evidence that I did, in fact, violate that code.
Yeah, Mr. Bugs, you've had conduct that's been unbecoming of
Let us know, so come here, what is the conduct? I've been asking
Of the
you,
school
I sent you 4 requests,
as
what is it?
well as being argumentative and just conduct that's not supportive or reflective of the school.
Have you been in a library board meeting? I never seen that one. So where you getting this from? Let's be fair about it. You going to remove me from library on some conduct that you won't tell me what it is. This is a public hearing.
Mr. Bugs, you asked the question, it was answered.
It wasn't an answer.
It was answered. And now this is your opportunity to
I asked you what
respond.
conduct, what did I do?
I thought I heard argumentative and over talking. Those are two things that I've observed.
What does that mean?
Those are two behaviors that I observed, and it's the board's decision.
You observed that when, at the library board meeting or now? Because this is
Those
not
are
about
two
now.
behaviors.
This is about so-called crime conduct, right?
I'm going to give you one more time to continue your meeting and your opportunity to speak.
My witnesses gonna come up? Are you gonna call and give you the
Did
list?
you have them sign in? You were asked to have them sign in. Did you have them sign in?
Yeah, they sign in. Call them.
You have any more comments that you would like to make? Because we'll give.
Yes, after my witnesses.
No, this is your time for comments.
Well, I want my witnesses to speak first.
They will speak when you're done. Are you done?
No, I'm not done. I'm gonna say that this meeting is denying me my due process rights under the Constitution. I've been accused of something that he won't tell me, this board won't tell me what it is I'm alleged to have done. They use a Indiana Code statute, but they won't say what in that statute I violated, nor provided any proof or written proof or any kind of proof that I in fact did violate such a statute. The comment was made that you did some conduct at a library board meeting, and I don't know what that conduct is because I never missed a library board meeting and I never seen Mr. Johnson there. So if somebody complained about me, as he said he did, the library board staff, that's what he told me, that I had some complaints against me. And I asked him, what were the complaints? He said, library board staff complained, and that's why the meeting was held. He never mentioned until just now some conduct. But that argumentative does not meet the standards of jeopardizing the public confidence or the other requirements on that statute. If he did, then Mr. Johnson is supposed to prove it and give examples of where and why I violated it and when. And the meeting that you all had too, you can only act with a written complaint. Who complained against me? He said it was library staff. That's what I was told.
No.
So
no,
then,
sir.
if I am telling me that, I have a right to face the library staff to see what the allegations were. And I'm being denied that. So I'm being denied due process. Now, I sent an email to Dr. Stokes to see if she knew anything about this, and she didn't reply. And I sent one to Dr. McLeod, since I couldn't get it to back to Mr. Johnson, gave me the wrong email address. And she didn't reply. Then I sent another email, seeing if she got the first one, still didn't reply. So I come here, and you asked me to make a comment. When you going to humiliate me and remove me from a library board without cause. Not you have done such conduct or you argumentative, something that you did.
Mr. Bugs, I would just like to point out that nobody's denied you any constitutional right or due process because this is a public hearing as I've defined it earlier. So this is not a setting where there's a denial of any type of constitutional right. So I have to correct you on that.
Okay, well,
Again,
turn
and
it
then
over.
secondly, again, as I've read earlier, the statute says for any cause. It does not require a written complaint. There's no requirement of that in here. So I just want to make sure that we are keeping on the record for the public knowledge what the statute says about removal of an appointee.
Well, Attorney Tobin, maybe he didn't tell you, but he told me that I had some complaints from library staff.
And that may very well be.
Well,
But what I'm saying is that the purpose of this public hearing, as it has been defined, and what the statute says about removal has been read by me and explained. So I think that I really would like to make sure the record is clear that this is not anything regarding a violation of any constitutional rights to be heard. You have been put on the agenda as having response time, but this is not the type of hearing that you keep trying to describe it as, sir.
But,
And I have defined what a public hearing is. So the only time I will interject anymore is if you are misstating the law.
well, the law says I have the right to face my accusers, and according to Mr. Johnson, I have some accusers, which is library staff. That's
So,
what he said.
Mr. Bugs,
So
you keep trying to make this like this is a trial,
Well,
and it's not.
he
That
mentioned
is
that.
not an accuser here. You are an appointee at the discretion of this board under this statute that has been cited. So I don't have a decision on that. I just interpret the code statutes and I'm trying to explain it for the public to understand and for you to understand so that you are not continuing to indicate that this is a jury trial or a courtroom trial or a hearing in that sort. So I just want to make that clear because as you continue in your response time to say those things, it makes it confrontational and it makes it confusing for what this really is.
Well, thank you. I would think that a hearing is set aside to hear the facts of some allegations against somebody. If in fact Mr. Johnson is saying that I violated that code, that statute, then he should tell me which one, or did I violate both?
The board is making a recommendation, not Mr. Johnson.
Well,
The board is making this recommendation.
Well,
And again, there aren't accusations for you personally. The board is making a recommendation to remove you as the library board appointee. Now, what you may or may not have been told, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that this is not a hearing for you being accused of anything or for you defending anything. A public hearing is for the public to express their comments, for them to have their say. As I had the definition of and read it earlier. It is a formal open meeting convened by a government agency or legislative body to allow the public to express their views, opinions, and concerns on a specific issue or proposed action. This is a proposed action of the board as they're making a recommendation to be voted on in the regular meeting. It is not a trial.
Mr. Johnson,
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, thank you. Mr. Johnson called me and said, this is a notification that we're scheduling a hearing to remove you from the board. And I asked him why, and he said because he had received some complaints from library staff.
I called you and asked you to check your email. That's what I asked.
No, you did, so I asked you who, I said it was
I
board
asked you to
member.
check your email.
I said board
what I
member
asked you.
or library staff, you said library staff. That's what you said. I have no reason to lie on you.
And I have no reason to
Why would
lie
I
on you
call,
either.
why would I call the director? And ask her if she knows anything about this, because she just called me off guard. And you said.
And that's if the director wouldn't know anything about this.
No, but you said that you had complaints from her staff. And in that case, it's supposed to be taken care of the library. Because they in a union, they have a library board and a director.
But Ms. Bucks, you are the school district appointee,
I know that, I know that.
not the library's appointee.
I know that. But you accused me of something, Mr. Johnson. I'm here to defend myself, but you won't tell me what you're accusing me of. That some conduct should be identified. But anyway,
Would you
since
like
I'm being
to call-
denied due process, I want my witnesses to come up so they be on record.
I will correct again that you have not been denied due process. You're misstating the law, Mr. Buggs, so I just want to make that clear for the meeting and for the audience and the public to
Well,
understand.
respectfully,
You are
Attorney, I
able
would
to make a response, which you have been doing. There's been no denial of due process.
respectfully, like you say, you don't know what he told me. He told me I was accused of something, and who lied. So that, if I don't have a right to defend myself against some unknown allegation, then my due process right of being denied. Call with.
Thank you, sir. I will call those folks who signed up for the public comments as directed. You may have your seat, sir. I see Mary. Scratch your name out. Dr. Spacklenberg. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What people should be concerned about here is the denial of due process for everybody in this community. Due process is something that's not applicable only to criminal courts. And in fact, the statute that keeps being cited is part of that due process. A legal memo issued by the state of Indiana in 2018 on this very issue, and the law has not changed since then, just so we're clear, states that yes, you do have to show cause. It is in that memo. I don't know why anybody decided not to do that. There's a reason that 2 things are listed there. Those are things that there has to be some cause. You can't just do it because you don't like somebody. You can't do it just because somebody's politically inconvenient or has taken positions that maybe somebody dislikes. Furthermore, you cannot do it simply to create a vacancy on a board at a convenient time. And I question, 1, was there ever a complaint? I don't know. If there was a complaint, was it substantiated? If it was substantiated, why was that not presented here to the public in this hearing? Because I will tell you right now, this is the first public hearing for removal of an official I've ever been to where no one will tell you why. And citing the behavior of an individual at that hearing, we can't use a time machine here, right? Like, something has to actually happen. And I think that all the vagaries are about creating that confusion. Yeah, you had somebody up here who was confused about the law. That doesn't mean that his points were wrong. That means that he's confused. Who's responsible for creating or maintaining order here? It's not him. It's this board, and the board is helping to foster this confusion because the board is not engaging in this process as required by statute. If there has been a complaint, why are we now stepping away from the idea that there was a complaint? Why is the complaint, if it existed, now inconvenient for this board to acknowledge? When was the alleged complaint received? Why, if this was an issue, and I think that there are certain instances in the past that people will use to distract from what's really going on here, which is about creating that vacancy at this place and time, and filling that with certain types of people. Why, if it had to do with issues in the distant past, once you got on this board, once this board was created, why was, if it has to do with things way, 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 way back, which were never substantiated as being the fault of any individual board member, but that's the implication, why wasn't it addressed sooner? Because that's not the reason. Thank you.
Mrs. L. Kendall.
Good afternoon to the board superintendent, to the board, to the community, and to all here and under the sound of my voice. We have a gentleman here who's articulate, intelligent. I've lost 50 seconds already, oh my goodness. Intelligent, integrous, prepared, seriously competent education advocate. You brought a complaint to us all of a sudden, and you haven't told us who, what, when, and where, with the basics that we're taught early on in school regarding any matter that we're addressing. You, our board represents 58 years of combined college education, and yet, in my opinion, the way things are being handled here is in a manner that is embarrassing, inadequate, and questionable as to the legality. No complaint named, no written complaint presented, no proof presented, no statement of this issue, unquestionable issue, no statement of misconduct, no statement of misconduct, and repeatedly you're saying we're hearing denial of due process. You're ruining a person's name. And if we are going to accuse someone of doing something, let's be exact about it. Let's not have wandering minds and wandering thoughts about a circumstance. Let's have facts and protect ourselves and our reputation, your reputation as a board. The process is questionable. And I hope that this is not an example of how you're going to conduct matters in the future, because there will be other issues of concern, I'm sure. And the way you're handling this is very, very distasteful. Mr. President, are we limited to comments about this issue only?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do better, and we expect better from you, and I don't appreciate the way you're handling this situation. Thank you much.
Diana Murrow.
I am Diana Morrow, and I am the director of the Gary Public Library. I've been the director for the past 13 years. I've been with the library for 37 years. I'm not sure if what you all are saying or what Mr. Buggs stated. I was asked to be here because I was told that there was some complaints from staff. What I can say, if there was complaints from staff, it was not brought to me. And I think my staff knows that as the director, there's a chain of command, and any complaints should have been brought to the director, and then I would have brought them to the entire board of trustees on the library board. I'm not aware of anything like that. So I don't know anything about that. What I can say is that I've worked with Mr. Buggs for many years on the library board. He's been an excellent board member. He's been dedicated. He's been faithful. He comes to all library meetings. And so I want to speak on that end. I can't speak on anything else that's going on. But he's been very effective for the Gary Public Library, and I'd like to see him remain as a board member. Thank you.
Bruce, I'm sorry. Quabena?
Good afternoon, board, community. I initially signed up. I thought that this was going to be the regular school board meeting. That's why I initially signed up. And are we going to have a chance to sign up for that public meeting? It's still right there. Okay, just want to make sure of that. So I was going to say.
It's not there.
But I was going to share this axiom that no investigation, no right to speak. So I wasn't going to say anything. But after listening to the first part of the hearing, I have to say something, because if it's a hearing and it's public, I think the public, like previous people have said, should know what we're dealing with, and like they're talking about it, and like, what did he do? What is it? So I think we should know what he's accused of. That's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Bruce Curry.
Glad to be here, board, community, and everyone. I came to the meeting for one thing today, and it's about moving students forward. We got a discussion, whole discussion's been on Brother Buggs in the library. My concern, Brother Buggs is a fighter in the community, 8 years on the school board. He participates in the library like I heard from the director. But when I look at this issue, I've been listening, there's three things that I call you get rid of people. One is performance. One is a level of one violation, is he stealing something from the school, doing something like that. And the other one was pretty clear. It said any means a person can be removed from the board. The board, if they're not comfortable with Brother Buggs, and Brother Buggs is not comfortable with them, if there hadn't been any love, then you're going to part ways. Brother Buggs is active all over our community. He does outstanding things. I don't want to create an atmosphere that I know Brother Buggs, because I deal with him a lot, he'll challenge everything. A lot of it I see is emotional intelligence. I think sometimes he goes that way, and I mean, I'm going from a personal friend of him and from just seeing him. But he's a good man. But sometimes when you have change in the organization, and you're trying to go a positive direction, you make some tough decisions. You got to make the tough decision, but you don't need to take the whole community and disrespect the man to do it. Just pull him in and say, look, we don't want you on the board no more. Period. Move on. And then Buzz going to do his thing. He's going to fight for other things we need in our community. But to take this time away from students is unacceptable. Right now, did students increase their reading in Gary today? No. Did students increase their math grades by our board meeting? No. Did we build a new building at the school? No. Have we dealt with, these kids do just some great things. A tornado happened, and these kids got moved over here. That was incredible. We saved lives. No kids got killed. Our security does their thing. There hadn't been mass shootings in the Gary school system. We got to get to the things of purpose. This kind of stuff should be done. The library director sit down with the board. I like him, I don't like him. Do you like him? it's all about love when you're working on boards, and it's about relationships. And if that sometimes you get divorces and you separate. Anybody know about that in life? You know, divorce and separation. Kids get mad at you. You have to discipline. They don't want to come home. They go away. Sometimes you have to move on. But what I don't want to do is affect what Bugs is doing for the community. He needs to continue to stay engaged. But you just gotta make the tough call. He's at the end, he's out. Because you're the board. That's all I have.
Linda Collins.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Stokes, and everyone in attendance today. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity afforded me to speak, and it's definitely a tough decision. In all that I do, I pray and ask for guidance first, and I speak and tell the truth in love. I'm going to follow my notes because I want to make sure I'm respectful of time. Initially, my plans were not to speak. I was going to sit and observe and listen, because as we all know, we learn a lot by listening. After seeing the agenda, and it was posted about the hearing early on. In fact, I came yesterday thinking that it was on and it was today. For those that do not know, I am a member of the Gary Library Board. After a short stint on the board, I was ready to resign, primarily due to one particular person on that board, that member being Mr. Bugs. Please believe me when I say this is not personal. I've known Mr. Bugs for 20 plus years, met him through my daughter. At that time, she was an undergrad, and he was her mentor. And she has the highest level of respect for him, and so do I, even to this day. But there comes a time when a change needs to happen. I've seen a different side of Mr. Bugs, as many of you have, in different capacities. Okay, I see a totally different side of him on that library board. As intelligent as he is, as professional, and all these good accolades that have been said about him, I respect, and I can concur to a degree. But seeing him in action on that library board and executive meetings and in public sessions have been totally embarrassing, to say the least. His actions have been unprofessional, very negative, as it was said earlier, argumentative, not conducive to an environment of professional folks trying to take care of business. With all due respect, there's valid reason or reasons for his removal on the board. And I say it without hesitation and as godly as I can. One quick example is we were embarrassed during a Zoom meeting, and he aired confidential information. And I'll quit at that point. Thank you.
You don't forget your name.
Yeah, my daughter tells me I don't need it. I walk away without it, but I do. Thank you.
At this point, we'll move on to item 1.4 on the agenda, and I'll entertain a motion for closing.
So moved.
Is there a second? Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. I'd like to let the audience know that we're going to take a 5-minute recess while we prepare for the school board meeting. The sign-up sheet for the school board meeting is available now on the table. Thank you.